Hey guys, so I'm gonna work on the 3D base mesh. You know I don't like this song. Anyway, I'm playing the infamous YouTube music here. Just to have a background soundtrack of some sort. Alright, so what I did so far was in class I sculpted the arms a little bit and I attached them, sculpted the legs a little bit, attached them. Then I just a minute ago took the mask, box mask, and selected half of it, and then used mask slice, and I sliced it and got rid of it. And then, actually, weird thing is, it only cut the front part of it, so I had to turn it around and do it again from the back. So I don't know, whatever, but it worked. And then I went over to after that was all cut, I went to object mode and selected the half, used the mirror modifier and mirrored it. Put the mirror modifier on it, and it had the two halves. Then when I brought it back in here, I went up and remeshed it. So now it is remeshed. It is good to go. All right, so now we have both halves of it. Now, there's a couple ways I could do this. Now, for right now, I have the parts hidden. The hand, the forearm, and the foot. Now, there's a couple ways I could do this. I could go ahead and use this, what I have here, and model it. Into a foot, model this into a forearm and a hand, or I could pull it out of the existing model. Two ways to do it. I think I'm going to choose to work with this piece here and then just attach it. Okay. So in the meantime, I'm going to get rid of the other two pieces that I don't need, and I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to turn off my, because it's way over there. I'm going to turn that off right now and just model it without that. Okay. Alright. Actually, you know what? I know why it's doing that. I'm silly. Object mode, I was still on this. I need to get the quick distance. There you go. Now, if I use this, yeah, there you go. It's staying right on it. Okay, so just I'll move over a little bit so I can look at the way this forearm's going to look on here. Okay, because I basically use this as a basic model for it. All right, so let's see here. So I'm going to go ahead and I have clay strips, and first of all I got to eliminate down the wrist area, right? So I actually don't want this on for the moment because I just need to carve out this piece with clay strips. Oops, my bad on that. I was pressing shift. I was actually just polishing the surface. I need to set my clay strips to negative and actually carve into it a little bit to eliminate it down to the. Probably set it too strong, but that's okay. I'm just gonna carve this out a little bit and then I'll reshape it. This should work. And then I'm going to use the shift key to now polish it up a little bit. See that? Alright, so I definitely need it to thin out there. Carve a little bit more out of it. We lost our crappy music again. I wish I could play something that wouldn't be tagged as copyrighted. That'd be nice. All right, so that's getting there. Okay, so now I'll add to my clay strips. Maybe I won't. Instead, I'm just going to use the elastic pull and pull the shape I want. I end up using this pull more than almost all the other tools. Okay, because it's kind of like working with real clay, and you're just kind of pushing the clay around. I used to be a sculptor when I was in. I worked with clay. When I was in college, I was going to do it after college. I was going to continue sculpting, but I ended up going into comics. And well, I actually technically ended up going 3D art in comics. So then I just dropped the 3D art. I just stayed in comics, and now I'm doing 3D art again. So I'm getting back to it. I left it for years and years and years. So I'm basically relearning it in a weird way. So otherwise, I feel it would be much better. I want to be much better. I want to be really good at it. It takes time. You gotta put the time in, and that seems to be my enemy. All right, so I'm gonna just kind of work this until I think it looks pretty good. Because what I'm gonna do is gonna end up in the end. They're gonna be, attached together again. So here it's kind of just a he has a muscle that comes down here and a muscle that goes way up here that's right here. Okay, and then see this one, and then there's another muscle that goes here down to here. So let me draw it and make my brush tip much smaller. It helps if I kind of draw the muscles in a little bit. It helps me think about where they're at. Let's see, so yeah, and then he's got it comes in here a little bit. So this is the wrist, and here the same muscle, which is you saw here, comes down here like this, right? And it twists over here. Okay, your forearm consists of a lot of twisting muscles. Okay, so forearm. All right, and then the back of his. We can't see the back. All right, so I'm gonna bring up my. I literally never closed it. It's still open. The muscle structure. So let me bring it down on my screen here so you guys can see it. What I'm looking at to remind you what I was looking at. Okay, so this reference, I'm going to put it back up on my main screen. So you see the elbow, and then you see this muscle here. See, this is a much like every single muscle is totally ripped out on this guy. I'm going for a more casual muscle appearance. So anyway, so here's that muscle that twists down. Remember, it comes down here. The other one, that's this one. This one here is not, in this model, it's broken into multiple parts. Mine was just going to be one big piece, one muscle doing that. And inside the arm, there's one more muscle that goes like this, and it ends right about here where the wrist's at. So that's the one I got to put in right here. So that one is sort of there now. I use the pull. Kind of pull it out a little bit. Okay. Alright, and that's this one. So, and then this one pulls out. And then there's that elbow, which I'll fix in a second. Okay. So, the elbow comes right there. And it's its own thing up there. So, all right. So, This is this. Okay. More or less, it's where it's going. All right, so let me get this and make this as small as I can get it. It's pretty small. Yeah, if I zoom in. Okay, so this muscle comes here. This one's here. This one is, let's smooth it a little bit. Smooth this a little bit. And then put the strands of this muscle in here. That's the nice thing about clay tubes. It kind of looks like muscle strand already. Okay. Oops. I wasn't pushing shift enough. So this has got to come down just a little bit. It's just a little bit too much. And then this is like the biggest part of the muscle here. Okay, and then this one. This one kind of does this kind of a thing in it. The largest area of the forearm muscle is up on this part of the arm. When it gets to the wrist, it actually thins out a lot, and it's just really runs along the bone there. Okay. And then this one is the elbow. Like I said, I won't be able to finish that elbow piece until I attach it really. So when I attach it, I can do the elbow correctly. But until then, I kind of have to leave it alone. Just go back to it later. All right, so this is the other muscle under here. I just kind of smooth it out a little bit. Now I put it in the strands there a little bit. Okay, and it comes up to here. Okay, and then this one. I'm using the shift to smooth it. It kind of thins it a little bit because I gotta thin it out enough to make the curve of the wrist there, the round part of your wrist is very round at this point. And thinner. And then there's the wrist bones. We'll put those in a second. So we get the wrist down to closer to where it should be. It's a little bit big here. Okay. And once I attach it all together, it'll be easier to figure out. Okay. So this is having his arms kind of like that. I think what I'll do with this piece, and luckily they put these in here. These are nice. I used to have to go to, you guys have to go back to object mode to do it before, but whoa, it flips pretty easy too. So I'm careful. Actually, I'll undo that movement. Let's see. I'll do it from this way. I just want to kind of... It deforms it. Okay. I think his arm needed to be a little bit just a little bit different angle. It's distorting it as I do it. I don't think it's supposed to do that, but whatever. See, I think we're gonna have to go to object mode. I think object mode will work better for us for this. All right, and then I'm gonna rotate it object mode. See, it doesn't distort it as much because I don't really want it distorted. I just wanted it moved. Okay, so on a normal human, your hand comes about here. So on this guy, I think that should be about right. His hand should be right here. Now, I know I moved our thing here. That doesn't help. Let's move it back if I can. Did I lock it? I don't know. Let's see if I locked it. Nope, I didn't. That's good. But I definitely am not straight onto it right now. Okay. Alright. Now, a couple things. My leg is slightly different from his, but it's pretty close. My arm's slightly different from his. So, his arm is back a little bit more, but I can't move it now. I've already put it in there. So I think his cutoff from his hand should be about right here. I think I've got this too long. So, once again, while in this mode, let's see if I can shrink it somehow. I don't know if I'll be able to. Scales it that way. A little bit. I think that worked. Actually, his elbow is much higher. See that? That might be the better way to go. Yeah, because that looks a bit closer to being right there. Let's see. Yeah. And move it over. Okay, so now I'm going to take this and I want to go ahead and attach it because I think that's where I'm going to leave it. Let me see here. I might put it a little bit straighter. Oops, not what I wanted to do. This is what I was trying to do. There you go. Yeah, I think that looks better. Okay. Yeah, that will work. Okay, so now I'm ready to attach this arm, and I'll finish sculpting it together. Then, and I'll put the hand on later. So I did that earlier because just in case I wanted to shape his arm in a different way. We'll worry about posing him later with the pose tools. So let's get this attached. So because this, like I said, I don't think you have fast carve or fast sculpt. In case you do, I don't know, but I'm just going to go ahead and use the regular old right here modifier. Okay, and we'll go down to Boolean. All right, and I want to make sure I set a union. Okay, and then I'm going to start with this one. Oh, actually, I should have take this modifier off of here. All right, then click this one. Then add the modifier, Boolean. Start with union, and then I want to join it to this one right here. There you go, and that's what it's going to look like, and I'm happy with that. So apply all. Okay, now it's all one piece. Now let's go back to sculpt mode, and we have to, if you remember right, we have to remesh it. Remesh. I don't know. And it makes, oh, I know what we did. Let's go back. You know what we did, guys? The thing I warned you about, and because I forget myself, and that's why I knew you might forget too. The extra part. It's still there. Just get rid of it. Well, you know, I could mirror it. I could flip it. So to do that right now, in here, simple mirror is right here. Mirror X, it just flips it instead of making a total mirror of it, and then just put it over here in place. But I'm running the risk of it being not in exact alignment where the other one is. But if it's not, I can select and mirror the whole body again. But actually, it looks pretty much the same to me. Okay, well, let's do it then. Why not, right? Why not? You're like, why would you? I don't know. All right, so we're going to add modifier again, Boolean, union, and then we're going to join this extra piece right here. There you go. Now, once again, it's still going to have an extra piece. Whether we edit, undo. Okay. We didn't apply the mirror, that's why. Let's wait. This one? Did this not work? Okay, that didn't work, did it? Why didn't it work? Let's scroll back. Find out what happened here. Okay, so this one, all right, we're going to start with this. We're going to union, and we're going to grab this one, all right, and we're going to say apply all. Okay, then we're going to, I think that's this one here, right? Yeah, it is. Okay, so this one, we're just going to go ahead and delete that. Delete. Okay, it's gone. There you go. It's gone. Now, when we go back to sculpt mode, we're just going to hit remesh. There you go. Now it's all attached. It's all pretty. Now we can go ahead and work on it. Now, since this is the mesh we're working on, we're definitely going to want this on. Because now, see, it's going to go over there. See that? And when we do this arm, it will do to that arm. Okay. Now it's a bit off. Oh, there it goes, more or less. Yeah, that's what I was worried about. See where I'm still touching it there, but I'm off there? That's because this wasn't quite totally aligned. Well, we'll see what we can do with it. If we can't fix it, then if we can't make it work, then I will just cut it and redo it. Let's just see what we can do. All right. So, what I could do. I don't know if this will work. Okay. Turn this off. Just grab this arm and just slightly pull it out. Then put it back on. There you go. That did the trick. Now it's even. Okay, perfect. Fixed it. That wasn't too hard to fix. It wasn't that far off, that's why. Alright, so now I'm going to go up here and I'm going to grab my clay buildup tool. Make this thing smaller. Zoom way in. And since it should be, just to be safe, I'm going to move this over a little bit. Yep, okay, it seems to be working. Now I've just got to reproduce this, so which I'll be able to do better now with it attached. Okay. And this one even comes down a little bit farther. See that? Just a little farther. Okay. And hit Shift. Smooth it. Okay. Like I said, I'm not going for... This guy's like ridiculously ripped. I'm not doing for all that. I'm just going for a really physically fit dude for this base mesh because we're going to put clothes on him anyway. So I'm okay with this. I could go back and make it super physically fit if I wanted to later. You know, just keep the mesh. The whole point of base meshes are that you make a base model that you can go back and use it over and over again for human form. Okay, and I did supply those other ones, which are meant for you to practice with. But if you end up using one of them, I'm kind of okay with it, because you know it is a tool that you can use. That's what it's there for. Professionals use them. Now I want to show you something. If I hit Alt, so right now I'm on plus, but if I hit Alt, well, it's supposed to work. Maybe it's Shift Alt. No. Control. Yeah, Control. Thank you. All right. I'm sorry, it wasn't Alt. So the tool is on plus right now, but if I hit Control, it goes into negative. Just instead of going up there switching it, it's just a little hotkey time saver. So. Okay, so I needed to carve for a second. Okay. So, yep. So there's his arm. Now we're going to do the hand. Okay, so the hands can be tricky. And I feel like his arms... are too far away from his body, I'll be honest with you. I gotta go back to object mode for a minute and move this one over. Just to see where we're at. Yeah, see, if we were staying with his proportions, my guy's arms are, which is pretty much correct, except for the fact that my shoulders on mine are way big and need to come in. So, what I could do to fix that is mask. Let's go back to object mode. Sculpt mode. Okay, make sure I got the right thing selected. I'm going to mask his center torso. I use these grid lines to try to get it right. Alright, that'll work. Looks like he's got like a jumpsuit on to put the... Alright, let me check. Let's make sure it's all the way out. So I don't know what's... Yeah, that sucks. Okay, fine. We use the same grid lines. Alright, so he should be evenly masked. Okay. Alright, and now I can even come in with the brush. Oh, we'll just use this brush right here and put it for... I'm sorry. Don't do that. Use the mask brush. And set it to negative, and then I want to come in just a little bit here. There you go. Same thing back here. Alright, so that should work. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to transpose those. So, well, actually, if it were in Zbrush, they would be transposing. In here, it's not. In here, I think to do that, I think we're going to use scale, but I don't want to be wrong on that. Well, we could try it, see what happens, right? Oh, made him a spider. That's not good. And every time I touch it, it makes it worse. It looks really funny, though. I also found out I got something down here that's not masked. I better mask it. I better figure out what I didn't mask down here. Oops, sorry. Was that negative? Positive. Figure out what I'm not masked. Oh, yeah. Those little tiny enemy spots, which I wouldn't even have seen if it hadn't have flipped out. So I guess it's good it flipped out. Alright, that's fine. Alright, so now that tool did not work even a little bit for what I wanted to do with it. So I want to scale them in just a little bit. Let's see here if there's a way to do it without tripping out this thing. Oh, yeah. That's so weird. It looks interesting, and it would be an interesting way to make a character, wouldn't it? Yeah, it's not going to work. Oh, that worked. Okay, the move tool worked. So, his shoulders. The guy behind their shoulders are way in here like this. We don't want to go that far back. We're just going to go to right about here. Right about. Well, right about. That'll work. Let me see the way that looks. Yeah, that looks better, doesn't it? I think it does. I think so. Straight on. Yeah, that looks a little more correct because we were out here before, right? Yeah, I think that looks right about there. Looks better. Okay, let's leave it there. All right, so we're happy with that. So we're going to mask, clear the mask, and then we're going to have to remesh it one more time. Remesh. Because we made weird stuff go on up there when we moved it in, trust me. But the remesh will fix that, so it's good there. So now I can go up there with the, hit it up with the smooth tool a little bit. Kind of clean that up. If we absolutely have to, I can remesh it again. But I think we should be okay without remeshing it anymore. Yeah. Trust me, if I hadn't remeshed it, it would have been a mess. Trying to even touch it, it would have just flipped out. Because it was folded in on itself. Still a little messy there, see it? A little bit, but that fixed. Okay, great. That's what we wanted to happen. Okay. That is much better. He looks better. Alright, so now I need to just a little bit. I have it on? Yeah. I forgot if I put it back on, what do you call it, for a minute? Okay. Alright, and then this shoulder kind of comes in a little bit. Okay. Alright, and these kind of move out just a little bit. And these come out just a little bit. There you go. Not too much, but a little bit. Okay. And then his back muscles, we can go ahead and kind of pull those out a little bit. Not too much, but just a little. Okay. Alright, and I could have actually built these up with clay tubes too. Let's put some clay strips in there to build that back muscle up. Really. That would work too. Shift to smooth that out a little bit. It just kind of brings it all back in together a little bit better. It looks a little righter than it is. Okay, perfect. Alright, so his body, his hands and feet, are pretty close to being done. Alright, so not perfect, but It's not bad. Okay, so there's that. So we got a male base mesh, more or less. Now we got left his hands and the feet. Okay, let's have fun with the hands. So, let's go ahead and let's build a hand. Let's build a hand, folks. I'm debating here whether I want to build it in here or build it on a separate screen and bring it in. Well, building it on a separate screen would allow you to not have to hide the body. Whatever. We'll just work out it here. I'm not gonna make it confusing. All right. So object mode. Let's grab the hand. We'll do the hand, then the foot. Actually, we could do the foot first. The foot's easier than hand. And the last thing we'll do is the head. All right. Now we'll go to sculpt. Okay. So the foot was easier than the hand. So let's do that first. Okay. And I'll leave the leg there so I can see what I'm working with. All right. So basically, this is what we're going for. More or less. I may leave the toes. I don't know how much we'll... Because unless you're doing a character with open-toed sandal shoes, I don't know. We could save ourselves a lot of trouble not do the toes. We can just make a basic foot shape. That would get the point across. Because you're probably going to have shoes on anyway, or boots or shoes or something. So, okay, so here's what you got to remember about a foot. So a couple things going on here with a foot. First of all, it has an indent, obviously. We all know that because that's how we tell our left or right shoes. Our big toe, our foot toes are actually on an angle. Okay. All right, we have a big toe, sticks out farther than the rest. Okay, not a lot, but a little bit. Well, it depends. Everybody's slightly different too. There's no one perfect foot, and there's no one. Yeah, I guess there could be a perfect foot, but you see attractive feet and ugly feet. So I guess there is something that we're all looking for attainment of a foot for, but there's a lot of wide variety in feet. Okay, you do have an arch on the outside, but just not as distinct as the arch on the inside. And you have this ball here. See, this arch is not as extinct. On the inside, it's much more extreme. Okay, so this is the pinky toe, so it's gonna be moved back. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. Sounds like I have a neighborhood. The kid down the street likes to rev up his engine. I think he's an adult. I don't even know if it's a kid. We have like a really tough HOA, so he can't have any cars sitting out. No, there's no cars sitting out there working on or anything. But I don't know if you can hear him revving the engine up down the street. But he lives down the end of my street. He's revving his engine up. So I don't know, whatever. Okay, so that's the foot showing through here. That's the bottom of this foot. We'll worry about that later. Once we attach it, when I get it pretty close to modeled, I'll attach it and I can fix all that stuff. So I'm not worried about it. Okay. I'm just pushing and pulling it. I'm not doing a great job, but it's kind of working. Like I said, I don't know how much we'll do how much of the toes will do or not. The whole foot may be off scale too. I'm gonna have to scale the whole foot up. I don't know. I'm trying to figure this out. I'm just trying to get the basic shape of the foot in here now. Okay, so from the side profile, that's correct, pretty much. Okay, see the way it comes out. Okay, so from the right here, it's a little funky, but maybe it's a little bit wider back here. And the back of the heel actually is kind of a ball at the bottom of it. I'm gonna get this guy out of the way for just a second. The foot sticking through there is really throwing me off trying to get this right. Okay, there. I'll put it all back together when I attach it. I'll make it work. Alright, so, and then a foot. Alright, so here is a foot, more or less, that you could put a shoe on. Okay. Okay. This is a shoe-worthy foot. Let me smooth it slightly. Just a little bit, not a lot. Okay. Pull it, just like smooth a little too much. But this is pretty much a foot that you could, let me clay build it a little bit right here. Just a little bit, because this is where there is a muscles that attach right there. So, okay, now, and we could build up the ankle bone right here. Okay, smooth it slightly around there. Okay. All right, and then if you wanted to, I'm gonna Alt carve out this just a little bit here, and then zoom in, and then I'm Alt carve right below the toes, smooth it, smooth all the carving I did. Then look at it from the side. Okay, so it's almost there. So make this much smaller. I'm not Alt. I keep saying Alt. Control carve. I'm sorry. I'm gonna confuse you. Control carve. Shift. Oops. Come on. Shift. Smooth. Look at it from the side again. See, I'm trying to get the toe thing going on there. Okay, and then like I said, I think we're going for shoes here, so the toe thing is not such a big deal, but in case you wanted to do toes, we'll get it a little bit closer where you could have kind of toes there. All right, and so that's sort of a toe shape. I'm pulling it right now. I'm gonna jump back to my. Okay, I want it to be positive, but I want to hit the control to make it negative. To cut into between the toes here. See, you really need to. good thing about the foot is that unlike the hands, I'm scaring the heck out of you about the hands. And I'm gonna remesh this. I'm gonna put the whole. I gotta bring the whole body back when I remesh it, because otherwise there'll be different remesh levels. Remesh. I need a little bit more geometry on that foot. Okay, close this. Anyway, oops, did the wrong one. I want to carve in here just a little bit for the big toe, around the big toe. Oops, I was pressing shift, not control. Control carves, shift polishes. One, two, three, four. Pinky toe. Okay. Oops. Polishing it a little bit back. Like I said, I really wasn't going for a full-on foot. I can do a whole separate modeling thing for a full-on foot. This is just a basic foot, so you can, if you really want to do toes, what you could do with this is you grab the, let's see here, how would I do that? I'd grab this carve tool, and you can carve in with this carve tool. Oh, yeah, negative on the curve. Carve, yeah. Scrape tool, I'm sorry. Scrape tool. And you can scrape in there negatively. Carve out some more toes. Okay. Might be best to go with the sharp draw. Keep it really small and make sure it's not negative. Get these toes in here. We'll do a legit real foot. This is just a basic base mesh foot. So I'm gonna just imply the toes, okay? I'll do a legitimate foot, like a real model case of a foot. If that's what you want to do. Okay. And then once again, negative carve here for this under the toe kind of indent there. Shift smooth it a little bit. Alright, there is a tool that is in Blender that will help you do fine details. But I don't want you to jump to it, because I find that when the students jump into it, right, start using it, because it is tempting to just immediately use it, because in theory it seems like it will solve all the problems and will work great. But I don't want you to immediately start using it, so I haven't shown it to you yet. Now, some of the sculptors I've watched, because I look at sculptors all the time, 3D sculptors that are way better than me, and I learned by watching them. And some of them use it all the time. Some do not like using it at all, and some use it only at the end. And that's the way I think I found myself it works the best, to only use it at the end. Okay. So, I'm not going to show it to you yet. I will. I'll get there. Alright, I just want to get this foot basically done. And we can go ahead and attach it. Okay. Alright, and just... So I'll pull out the heel. I'll pull out the ankle bones so that we attach it. They're already there. more or less. I'm gonna just clay strip them in. And then smooth them. Oops. That clay strip went crazy. Oh, my brush got so big all of a sudden. So weird. Okay, there you go. And then just kind of smooth it out a little bit. So it's there, but it's not crazy yet. It's there, but it's... Okay. Alright. We are just about ready to attach the foot, the leg, the rest of the body. This way, bring the body back. Bring that body back. Bring the body back. Okay, the body's back. And I'm going to attach it. Does it look big enough? It looks small, doesn't it? Okay. Right. And the foot is there. Okay, so I'm going to make the foot bigger. It definitely needs to be bigger. So let's go ahead. And we're going to go to object mode. I'm going to scale it here because I find that it doesn't distort it like the other one did. I'm going to make it bigger in all ways. And then a little wider. And then let's see here. Move it forward. The angle of his feet are slightly different than ours. So it's going to be a little bit difficult to determine if we got the length right. So I'm going to go with generally looking at the scale of the human. You think that this has got to support this character's weight for walking. So it could be slightly large. Not very much if so. We'll shrink it back just a little bit. There, I think that works. Oh, somehow I scaled the guy in the back. I'm gonna lock these. This thing allows you to lock it. If you have these arrows turned off, you can't pick it. So I can't grab it by accident. That way I won't grab it by accident. Okay, I think it works. I think it's working. So this is his hand. Let's get that out of there. That's going to be our next project. But first, I want to get this one. I'll get this one attached. And I think it works. I think it works. Let me look at it from the front. Yeah. From here, though. Not that way. That's what I was trying to do with it, like that. Yeah. There you go. Looks like he's got a pair of shoes on. Looks like he's got a pair of Nikes on. Why Nikes? I don't know. Default. Alright, looks good. So let's go ahead and let's grab this first. Let's go to our modifiers. Over here, the wrench. Add modifier. Boolean. Union. Grab the foot with the... And that's what it's going to look like. And that's good with us. And let's apply all. Alright, now, remember, we have an extra foot in there. Remember that? There's an extra foot. Yep, there it is. So, what do we do with this foot? Let's go ahead and mirror it. In X, local is fine. And let's put it on the other side. Why not? Why not? Why not put the foot there? Sorry. Seinfeld invitation. Why wouldn't you do it? I think it works. Okay. So let's once again, we'll grab this. And modifier, Boolean, Union, eyedropper, foot, apply. Okay. And then the extra foot right there, we'll just delete it. There it is. Okay. Now, we have to make this look a little bit like, because it looks like definitely looks like it's a shoe right now, because it's kind of crazy at the ankle bone. But I'll fix all that. It looks like a pair of Timberlands or something. So let me fix that by going into sculpt mode. So grab the whole thing. Sculpt mode. Remesher. Remesh. Okay. Now it's all nice and attached. Let's grab the smooth tool, and we'll go ahead and put this sucker together. And it looks like we have our good. I'm glad that was on. I forgot to do it. Our what do you call it? Mirror modifier or whatever. This one, yeah. I'm glad it was on because I forgot to put it on. So now your foot naturally does come down a little bit over on the one side. That is a legitimate real thing. So, in fact, some people actually have problems with that. I have to wear special shoes for that. But we're trying to this guy's too. I don't want to go too special of a shoe. So I'm trying to level out a little bit. Foot down a little bit, but that's okay. This, I believe, was part of the other foot. So I'm just going to shift and kind of flatten it out there a little bit. There you go. That works. All right, there you go. There's a couple of really simple feet. No toes or nothing, but they're on, right? So they're on there and they're fine. So he's got feet. So our base mesh now has everything but head and hands. All right, so now let's work on the hands, and then the last thing we'll do is the head. Okay. Now, once again, with the head, we could do a real simple head so that we don't, do too much because it's a base mesh. It could really just be a sphere for a head, to be honest with you. Because everybody looks different, so why make a head? However, I do need to do a head model sculpting demo, so maybe we'll go ahead and combine the two things together. All right, so let's work on the hand. Object mode, select the hand. All right, so we're just gonna go ahead and work on the hand. So the hand obviously needs fingers and a palm. So let's, and there's obviously no hand over there, so we'll make one and we'll duplicate it over just like we did with this one. Alright, so it's funny because straight on, this guy's hand is slightly turned from this. In real life, it would be too. Ours is almost exactly 100% mirrored because we did mirror it, but it's alright. Alright, so let's go into sculpt mode. Alright, so there's a couple ways we could do this. We could pull it all out of that one piece, or we could add parts of it, and I've done it both ways. I don't know which one is better. Let's start with at least getting the general shape of the hand in place. Probably, and I've also done it in object and in sculpt, not sculpt mode, but in just regular 3D modeling mode. I've made tubes and cylinders, and then I made a hand out of that. That works actually probably sometimes better, but I'm going to do it right here in sculpt. Okay, so we're going to make a hand, and we're going to make it pretty much kind of straight on. So in the hand is basically kind of a cup. Alright. I think my radius is too big on this push and pull. That's too small now. There you go. It's just like Goldilocks, right in the middle. Alright, so not too hot or not too cold. Whoa, what's going on here? Okay. Alright, so this is where the thumb's going to be. So we're going to pull that a little bit out, just a little bit. The thumb's going to be there. So thumb muscle comes up a little bit here. Alright, so the fingers, the other side of the hand, the palm and the fingers. Make them a little bit longer. Push this in a little bit. Pull the thumb out a little bit more. We're definitely going to have to remesh this dude. There's just no way we're going to be able to do it without doing it. Alright, so I may remesh the hand separately from the rest of the body. And then once the body's in place, we can remesh it all back together at one time. Because there's probably no way I'll be able to sculpt a hand with that. Well, I can try. I'll do as much as I can with the amount of what I have here I'm working with. So we've remeshed enough times that I might be able to do it. So all I'm doing is I'm basically pulling a, well, working on the fingers now, but I was just pulling the thumb out of the rest of the hand. Okay. All right, and once again, I'm going to close the body. I basically used it as much as I can for the moment. I'll get it out of the way. Looks like this guy's having a giant hand. That looks funny. Okay. I'm going to just go, because it was just freaking me out. It was sticking out there. We can fix it all later. Okay. Alright, so, alright. Gotta flip our hand. Okay. Right. You see, I'm just kind of basically pulling kind of a hand shape out of this. The ring finger, I mean the pointer finger is right here, the middle finger, and then it goes down to the ring and the pinky finger. Quite a bit of an angle drop if you look at your hand straight on. Alright. But unlike the foot, I'm actually going to put fingers on this guy, so I'm probably going to be doing some magic here. So I think I'm going to have to push this back down to the palm and pull one finger at a time out of this guy. Alright. So what I want to worry about here is the palm, is the hand itself. So this will be the knuckles. This will be the inside of the palm. I've got the thumb started. Okay. This is okay. Alright. Alright, so I got the base of the hand thing on. Okay. So let's grab the clay strips. Let's zoom in. Let's put it down where we can work. And get our clay strips brush much smaller. Alright. And then I'm going to build up our first knuckle, second knuckle, ring finger, pinky finger. And these all pull back with tendons. Back to the wrist. Okay. And then this has a tendon that connects the thumb and the hand itself. You've got a knuckle here on the, yeah, it's absolutely remeshed. There's a knuckle there. There's a knuckle on the thumb. shit. Knuckle on the thumb. Okay. There's another knuckle here on this finger. And then I'm going to use the... I'll make this just a little bit bigger. Pull the thumb out. Push part of the thumb in. Because the thumb comes like out and in. And I've got the, what do you call it, turned off, by the way. The mirror. I don't want it on right now because I'm trying to... I might put it on back in a minute. I'm just letting you know I don't have it on for a reason. Because I'm sculpting here with straight up just looking at it sculpting. Now you if you're more comfortable, you can like I said, there's different ways to build it. I'll show another way too. I'm gonna hand build this like this, and then I'll show the other way might not be better anyway. But we'll see. Smooth it all down. There we go. You don't want to get your pulls too extreme. Just remember to always smooth while you're working. Okay, I'm pulling the end of the thumb out here. This side of it, so I'll pull it out too. Make sure you smooth it. Just keep smoothing it as you go. Okay. All right. All right, smooth it. Smooth, 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 smooth. Okay. Smooth. Okay, so what I want to tell you guys, I am not that good at modeling. I'm really not. I have a lot of practice because I work on it a lot. I try a lot. I don't work enough on it. That's really the way you get better. But I'm not that good. But with time, I will get better. I just want you to remember that. Don't get frustrated. It's very easy to get frustrated doing this stuff. Trust me, I know, because I'm just like, man, I really want to be better at it. And it just takes time. Okay. So just keep working at it. Just keep working. And I'm not going to grade you on your skill for modeling. Trust me. I'm not that good myself. And there's people that just ridiculous. I was looking at something yesterday, so my model, and I'm like, wow. I'm just like floored by it. How good they are. But there's just no way of achieving that without working on it. You know, it takes time. And I know that. I know that from all the years I've been doing all this stuff. I stopped 3D modeling for a long time, like I told you that, but it just takes time. The more time you spend, the better you get. Okay, it's just the way it works. Okay. Now, I'm also going to say something. There's a good chance this hand will be far more modeled than the rest of the body. Because I'm looking at him going, you know, I didn't even do this much modeling on the rest of the body. Oh well, it's okay. The hands are, they're a challenge, so I gotta get good at it. Okay. Or as good as I can right now. Okay. Alright, so there is the thumb. thumb muscles in here. I'm just trying to pull them out. I should probably just use one bigger brush to do it, but it's just little pulls and I'm kind of smoothing it into it. It's that muscle in your hand, you know, when you look at your hand, you've got that big old muscle connected to your thumb. That's this. Okay. Okay, so there's that. All right. Okay, so like I said, it's okay for the moment. It works. All right, so now I need to pull the fingers out. So once again, I'm gonna have to remesh this because there's no way I'm gonna be able to pull an entire finger out of this mesh. But I'm gonna try. Get a little bit bigger brush and just pull the crap out of this first finger. Yeah, I can already see him stretching it. Alright, so this is where the other tool I'm talking about that I have not shown you yet. And you're like, why don't you just show me the dang tool to talking about it? Well, because I don't know. I just don't. I've different schools of thought, and I've seen people do really great models and not even use it one time. So, and I've done models using it, and I've done better. And lately I've been doing better, and I've been using it less. So, I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence on whether how good it is to use. And once I use it, I can't remesh anymore. I can't use the remeshing tool, which is what I'm trying to work with now. Because lately I've been watching this modeler, and they use the remesh all the time. It's this female modeler, and she uses remesh, and she's models is amazing. And I'm trying to do her style of modeling, learn her style of modeling, and she uses remesh instead of what the tool is. It's called Dinotope. It's right here. I keep hinting at it, but not saying what it is. And what it does is, it basically, and it sounds amazing, and it really does work somewhat. It puts mesh right where you need it, and why not use it? It is there. Well, like I said, I watched this modeler, and the modeler does amazing work just using the remesh. What I'm doing, what I've been trying to teach you guys to do. So I'm trying to work that way, and to me, it seems to work, but I don't know. You see what I've done so far. I'm just pulling the fingers out. I haven't used the Dinotope yet. I've used the remesh. Okay, so like I said, I watched a bunch of modelers, and some use Dinotope, others don't. And I kind of find that the more professional modelers, and the better they are, they don't use it. So that's why I've been kind of trying to stay away from it. I'm trying to learn to work without it. They don't use it. A couple of them do, but the majority of them don't. And I'm kind of like, well, why wouldn't you use it? Because it does seem like a really awesome tool to get the job done. And why not use it? But at the same time, like I said, looking at the work they've accomplished without using it, I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to try a little bit longer on this finger, and if I really can't get it, I'll use it. So one thing I think I need a small bit, make this brush a little smaller. There you go. Actually, too big of a brush for what I'm trying to do here. Now, like I said, I used to teach, and I use a program called Zbrush, which is kind of considered an industry standard. But it costs money, and that's why I showed you guys this one instead. This one it's free, and it's actually a pretty awesome program. It really is once you learn how to really master it. I also learned in Maya. I'm actually certified in Maya with used to Alias Wavefront. They used to own it. They sold it to Autodesk, so I was certified before Autodesk had it. So I was a certified animator actually in there. So, but it was a long time ago. And I really just kind of got back into this within the last year or two that I started teaching this class because I wanted you guys to. I wanted to do it. I wanted to do 3D modeling again, and I wanted you guys to be able to make something that you could 3D, just a little extra, you know. Like, so why would you take the class when you could? Well, there's a lot of. I know a lot of people wonder why you would take this class. As far because anybody can make a character, and the stuff I'm teaching is not really anything that you wouldn't know otherwise. But the secret of this class could be getting to do the 3D model. And maybe that's the secret. I don't know. If you guys give me some feedback, that'd be cool. If you think that's maybe why you might have taken the class to do 3D model, or just generally you wanted to take the class because you wanted to learn how to do it. It's funny because one of my students, I took the class, and then she was for the Digital Media Club. She started teaching my class for digital media. I didn't say nothing about it. I was like, okay, I was supportive. So, but she was basically what I taught her in class. She was using for digital media. That's funny. She was doing like a design your character contest or something. I don't know, for the digital media group. But like I said, she was using the stuff that I taught her. I was like, oh, whatever. Just put to use. That's good. If I gave you some tools you could use, even better. Okay, so there's one finger. All that work with one finger. Okay, let's go. We got 3 more to go. Yeah, I was counted for. I was like 3 more. Yeah. All right. So once again, we're gonna grab we're gonna pull the next one out. Now, what we might want to do, I think it's a good idea. We're going to take the mask. All right, and I'm going to paint a mask on this finger all the way down to and I'm going to do the thumb because I got the thumb done. I don't want the thumb to get screwed up. I should use masks more often. They would make my life probably way easier. I actually underutilize the mask tool. Because it keeps you from destroying parts you've already done. Okay, but point on this is I want to pull this finger out, but I don't want it to destroy the finger I already made. So, or I guess I'm doing the whole hand shape now. I'll pull the finger out of what's left. And literally I could go in object mode and make a new finger out of a shape. Just like it, and just attach it. And that might be an easier way to do it. Pull the finger out of what's left there. to go up to mask. I want to sharpen the mask to make the edges cleaner. And then I want to go to negative on the mask brush. And make it skinnier and go. So I cut it right on the side there. So I got enough material to pull to make that finger. Okay, good. Okay. Alrighty, guys, here we go. So, alright, so I pulled that finger on. That finger's not bad. It's not perfect at all, but it's not too bad. Okay, it's relatively close to what I want. But let's try something else. Let's go ahead, go to object mode. Let's add a mesh. Let's add another, not a cylinder. Let's go ahead and add a sphere. I know it sounds weird. You're like, why wouldn't you add a cylinder? Pull it down. Move it. I gotta figure out where it's at compared to the weird to put it way over there. Okay. Remember, everything's upside down right now because I was working upside down on the hand. That's why. I'm going to go ahead and make a finger this way. See what happens. This is a better way to go anyway. Alright, and I'm going to take this one and I'm going to Shift D duplicates it. Okay. And I'm going to make it, push it down a little bit. Rotate it slightly because the next finger is not only is the next finger smaller, but it's also on an angle. Your hand cuts down the middle into two angles, if that makes sense. All right, and then the next one is going to be Shift D again. And this is going to be the pinky finger. And it's much smaller, so I'm going to move it right here. Okay. We're going to scale it down quite a bit. Move it over. It's just so I have some geometry there to work with, that's all. Okay, instead of pulling it all out like I did that figure there. Okay, and then get it relatively close to where it should be when I work on it. Okay. Cool. All right. So there we go. So there's our new fingers instead of pulling them all out. That one didn't come out too bad, I gotta say. So, but let's just do it this way. Okay, so now the problem is we can't do anything until, I'm gonna have to actually go back and unmask this, I think. Sculpt mode. Mask. Well, I don't need the mask anyway now because I'm doing these separately. Then we're going to go back to object mode. And we're going to Boolean these fingers right in here so we got the geometry already connected. So we're going to go to, and we're going to go to Boolean. Select. Oops. Okay, didn't like that one. I should have saved it, just in case. Lesson learned, the computer started freaking out. Save your work. I haven't saved in a while. I actually did a lot of work I haven't saved. I don't want to lose it, so good idea. Let's save it. Okay, all right, let's try this again. So let's get this out of here. Let's select, we have this selected. We're gonna go, and we're in object mode. So now we're gonna go to Boolean Union. Grab magnifying and then grab this one right here. There it goes. It worked. Perfect. Okay. Apply. Now remember we got two pieces here, so I gotta grab this other one. Yep, that one. Just get it out of there and just delete it. Okay. All right. So that's, well, we can smooth that all out in a minute. So let's grab this one again. And modifier Boolean Union. See, I think this works better if we just add geometry. What do you think? I think so. No one ever says not to do this. Technically, no one said not to use the other tool either, but like I said, I'm trying to do the more, trying to get better, so I'm trying to learn the professional techniques. So, modifier Boolean Union. Apply. Delete. Okay, perfect. So now we have our hand. Let's go back to sculpt mode. Okay, and then I'm going to remesh the whole thing. Remesh. Oh, that was not good. We don't want that to happen. Okay, so we see a problem, don't we? Yes, we do. Yeah, that is not a good thing at all. Okay, so we need to remesh it though. I know what I can do. I can, I wonder if I mask it and then remesh it. I don't know. I don't want it to do that again. Alright, I'm going to go backwards. Okay, good. Nothing's going to get Booleaned. I'm going to remesh these pieces first. Then Boolean them on. I don't know. I think, because they're so close, this is the problem. So I'm just going to grab this one. Sculpt mode. Remesh it by itself. Okay. Alright, then this one. Go to sculpt mode. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but I'm going to try it. And remesh that one. Remesh. Okay. I'm just trying to put enough geometry in them to work, to sculpt them. Object mode. I haven't attached them, remember this. So sculpt mode. Remesh. Okay. Now I'm going back to object mode. Okay, so now I'm going to go to sculpt. I'm going to start sculpting it into the finger and then attach it. And then hopefully it won't do what it just did a minute ago. Let's try it that way. Okay. Now I may need to get these out of the way anyway. I'll leave that one there as long as I can. This is probably a better way to work anyway, to be honest with you. Be 100% honest. Because I would have run into difficulty with the other one being too close to the rest of the hand. So I'm just going to go ahead and edit it as much as I can right here. Now really there's not, the fingers, they're not really complicated. They have 3 joint points in them. Where they connect. There's tendons in them. That's it. Well, I mean, yeah, lots and lots of nerves and whatnot, but stuff you got to model wise. Okay, so I'm going to go to the clay tubes, much smaller. Put in the knuckle. Put in into the fingernail. There's a little knuckle here, and then there's the big knuckle here. This is all have to be smooth, of course. This is the biggest knuckle, so and there's the fold isn't the fold is on the other side of it. So let me smooth it. We can actually smooth this a little bit more because it's where the fingernail is going to go anyway. Like I said, supposedly this guy is just a base mesh. I'm not supposed to put fingernails and all that on him anyway. So I keep forgetting that. I keep treating him like it's going to be a full-blown figure. Detailed. Okay. And then the fullness of the fingertip here. Okay. And then it comes in right there at the tendon, and then this one comes in a little bit here. Okay. Smooth. Alright. Smooth. And then I'm going to put the draw tool really small. And put in the bend here. Oops. I wanted negative, not positive. Control, press control. The bend here and the bend here. Shift smooth. again. Bend and the bend. And then there is a kind of a bend here, but okay. There's kind of lines in here. But like I said, I don't want to go too crazy with this because it's only supposed to be a base. Oops. Let's go positive, not negative. Shift. And then the fingernail. And then the shift or smooth. Okay. I didn't do that to this one, but that's okay. Shift to smooth. Okay. Alright, so remesh it one more time. And then smooth a little bit. Control. Smooth. I was really hoping the shift was gonna I was really hoping the remesh was gonna fix that. Clay tubes, just little tiny clay tubes in here to build this area up a little bit so that I can emphasize that fold. Smooth that a little bit. Smooth a little bit. Smooth a little bit. Okay. Got a couple clay tubes up here. Smooth it a little bit. The knuckle. One clay tube here on the edge. Smooth. Okay, and then we'll put a couple clay tubes here to make the... Oh, that's shift. Not just regular. The fingernail. Smooth. Okay. It's fine. It's good enough for the base mesh. The base mesh is simple, so it's okay. So there's that finger. Oops, it doesn't look good on this one side, so I gotta pull it a little bit more. Bigger brush. Pull that side out. Looks like it got kind of not evened. Ooh. All right. Okay, so I think that works. All right, that would be finger number 2. All right. And then we'll just reattach everything at the end and then one time remesh it, and hopefully it won't web all the fingers together again. Alright, so let me save this. File. Save as. Number 9. Save. Alright guys, so let's see how long this video is. It's probably pretty long already again. Let's see here. It is already... yeah, almost 2 hours. All right, I'm going to stop the video here. And I'm just going to go ahead and do the same thing for the next 2 fingers. And then I'm going to remesh them together. If I have a problem remeshing them together, I will undo it, and then I will make sure I start filming and make another video on that part of it. Okay. But at the moment, I think we're okay. So basically, I hope you get the gist of what I did. So the first finger I pulled out of there. But then I thought, I'm just not going to have enough geometry. And so I think it's best just to go ahead and make the fingers out of this way. And then shape them. Okay, like I said, when they're done, I'm going to shape them into fingers. And then I'm just going to attach all of it together, Boolean it together, and then remesh it. Hopefully it doesn't stick together. All right, so I might move these two away from this one a little bit more one side before I sculpt them. All right, so at that, I'm going to end the class extra, and let's bring back everything we've done so far so we can see what's going on here. His hand is... Okay, so there it is. His hand is moved far up from where it should be, but we'll bring it down. We'll fix all that. That'll be all fixed. So, yeah. So, we got the feet done tonight. We got the legs attached. And then what I'll do is I'll finish the hand. Like I said, I'll attach the fingers. And then the hand will basically be attached to the arm. I'll try to do a video. I'll probably do a video of that whole thing attaching. And then we'll do the head. Okay. So, and once again, it's just a generic head for now. But I actually do have to do a face sculpt. So after we get this generic base mesh done, I'll start taking this character then, and I'll make a character out of it. Okay, I'll do everything he needs to do on him to make him look good. But this will be our starter mesh because that's what a base mesh is for. All right, guys. At that, thanks. Appreciate your time.